Hey runners, we're your hosts, Jocelyn Cortez
and Shayla Hudson.
Today we're going to talk to you about Golden State and Kobe's last game.
We'll chat about NBA Player Awards.
Talk about the NFL draft picks.
We'll take a trip across the pond and talk about soccer, then bring it back home and talk about baseball. So let's get started. You're watching In the Film Room.
Hey guys, welcome to In the Film Room. I'm Jocelyn Cortez, my co-host Shayla Hudson. To my right we have Kira Washington. To my left we have Daryl Sherrod. So we're going to start off by talking about Golden State and Kobe's last game.
Okay, so last Wednesday was a remarkable night for NBA history. Kobe played his final game and scored 60 points while Golden State raced for 73 wins. But when it came down to which game you watched, which one did y'all find more interesting?
Got to flip back and forth.
Yeah, I had a split screen on my TV.
I originally I stayed with the Kobe game because I was just like, okay, this is the last time Kobe's ever going to play. Not once did I think that Golden State was going to lose, but I was like, if Golden State loses, I mean, that's just another loss. Kobe's last game, I mean, it's it,
crazy,
major.
yeah.
You're not gonna see him again.
Major.
So I found myself switching to the Golden State game just to see, but then I was just like, okay, I'm going back to Kobe's game because he's kind of going off right now. So.
My thoughts were Golden State first half because it'll be over second half. Kobe's second half because anything relevant that would happen would be second half. And my roommate Mike ended up just kind of putting Kobe on, and he was hot from the start.
Oh, really?
But that first he missed his first five, and I was like, this is gonna get awkward.
Yeah.
And then he started heating up, and I'm like, why? Chill on Golden State. I ended up watching Kobe the whole time, and I would have never, ever guessed I'd do that. But the man dropped 60, so
That's
hard not to.
Game. That's crazy.
Well, I wouldn't say unexpected. I kind of figured that, okay, maybe he'll get a cool, 20, 25 points to go out.
Like the normal.
25. But I didn't guess 60. I didn't. And to be that player to go out with the best, stats, or points scored their last game, yeah.
And it shows, how much heart he plays with.
Oh yeah.
He's such a
that game was so Kobe. 50 shots, 60 points, brought the team back. Nobody, I think only 3 other players took a shot in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That was so Kobe.
What I love though was that he ended it with an assist though. I found that was just okay, hey, he ended it with one though. Not a last shot, but an assist. But I mean.
So the first round of playoffs is underway. So what are y'all's predictions for this playoff?
Okay. So for me, in the East, I think the East is pretty easy to decide. The Cavs ultimately will come out, but I say Miami gets to the second round versus Indiana. I think Paul George is going to pull it out for them. And then it'll be LeBron versus the Hawks, which is a repeat of the Eastern Conference Finals from last year. I got Cavs sweeping because they swept last year. Nothing's going to change. I think Miami will 6 at the most, and then Cleveland gets Miami in 6 from the East. And then in the West, wow. I got OKC beating San Antonio in 7. I said it. It's out there. OKC beating San Antonio in 7. Golden State getting the Clips in 6. Golden State eventually getting OKC in 7. And then the King gets a ring over Golden State. Those are my...
I agree with just about I agree with just about everything except for that OKC prediction.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying San Antonio is gonna get OKC, and then I'm saying it's gonna be Golden State and the Spurs. I'm sticking with it. Golden State and Spurs in the West Conference Finals. The East, the Cavs, but whoever comes out of the West, they're beating the Cavs.
Yeah.
You can't say that definitively. You can't say Golden State. Yeah, they should be the favorite, but San Antonio. Cleveland came to San Antonio and lost by 6. San Antonio went to Cleveland and lost by 14. I don't think you can just say, oh, if San Antonio gets there, they're winning.
I guess it's just the homer in me.
Yeah.
Listen, I tried to go off logic, but I'm gonna say the Spurs if they get there.
I would say for me, I think LeBron still has the most effect of any one player. So if they get to the finals, Curry's Curry, he's gonna get his shots off. But LeBron, offensively, multiple ways, defensively, multiple ways, leadership, experience, I think he brings the most to the table.
And I will say that Love and Kyrie definitely had their best game together, because usually it's one or the other going off, and they both went off kind of. So it's like that's what they need for sure.
If the big three can be a big three, then yeah, instead of a big 2.5.
All right. Well, that was great. The Spurs still proved to be on top as Kawhi Leonard just got Defensive Player of the Year for the second time in the row. So do y'all feel that that award was well deserved? And who do you predict will win Rookie of the Year and MVP?
All right, I definitely feel that it was well deserved. I was saying that it could go either way between him and Draymond Green, but when I think about it, I see Kawhi Leonard locking people up more than I see Draymond Green doing it. And that's kind of what tipped it over the edge for me as far as, okay, yeah, he deserved it, but it could have went either way, but I'm a little happy that it went Kawhi's way.
Yes.
For sure. And then for my Rookie of the Year, I'm still sticking with Karl Anthony Towns. He was great this year. He
plays with a lot of heart.
But he had like 18 points per game, 10.5 rebounds. So the dude went off. So I'm excited to see how he develops more. And let me just say that, like, didn't you say that Minnesota was coming?
Oh, they're absolutely.
I feel like they're coming. And then MVP, that's a given, Steph. I mean, you don't even have to rattle off his stat line. I mean, just when you hear MVP, you think of Steph for sure and what he's been able to do.
As far as Kawhi goes, I think Kawhi is the best defender, and I think as a perimeter guy, he very consistently has to guard a better player than Draymond. But I thought after last year when Draymond had more first place votes than Kawhi but lost it, I felt like Draymond warranted at least winning it this year. I don't want to give him an award, but I felt like he did enough to get it. Rookie of the Year is Karl Anthony Towns, and it's not even close. MVP is so very sadly Steph Curry. And that's all I have as far as that analysis.
Let me just tell y'all, we're about to have like an even more pettier Draymond Green now that he didn't get it. Like, the pettiness is about to be on 10.
He deserved to get Defensive Player of the Year over the last 2 years. If he doesn't get it next year, I feel really sorry for him. Like, he's earned it.
All right, so that's all we have for the NBA. Whenever we come back, we'll talk about the NFL.
I'm your host Shayla with Kiera and Sergio here to talk about NFL. What are your top 15 picks?
Okay, well, I guess. Oh, you got it?
Oh, you got me? Okay.
All right.
For my first pick, especially since the Rams gave up almost everything they had to get that number one
Everything.
pick. They gave up so much to get that number one draft pick. I got them actually going with Jared Goff from California as that first pick. Because, I mean, they did get Nick Foles out of that trade with the Eagles, but I don't see that lasting for a long time.
Yeah.
And then Cleveland Browns, I'm having them go with another quarterback. Even though they have this history of trying to get that first-round quarterback, I feel like Carson Wentz is going to be that breakthrough player for them that's actually going to set the stone where they don't have to draft any more quarterbacks for a long time. Number 3, I have Laramie from Ole Miss, offensive tackle, going with the San Diego Chargers. And I know a lot of people, it's been iffy with the Cowboys who they have going with them, but I'm sticking with Jalen Ramsey.
Okay.
I really feel like we need to fill in that spot on our secondary on defense.
Okay.
And so I'm really hoping, especially with Claiborne being a bust more than anything, there was so much hype about them. But I feel like Ramsey will actually like settle himself in the Big D and do some good stuff there. And then with the Jaguars, even though they did pick up some big stuff in the offseason, mainly defensively, I have them going with Joey Bosa from Ohio State and really build up that defensive line to where offenses are going to be really scared to play the Jaguars later on in the future. And number 6, the Ravens, I have them going with Ezekiel Elliott as running back. They haven't had a really consistent running back since the whole Ray Rice incident, and so I feel like Elliott will actually fill in that role pretty well and give them a good running game in the future. 49ers, they've had a lot of linebacker issues, and so I got them going with Miles Jack from UCLA, filling a good role at linebacker, especially since all their linebackers seem to get arrested.
Or retired, you know.
Yeah, so I feel like they really need to fill in.
Been a rough year.
So I feel like that defensive side of the football really needs to get filled up pretty quickly. The Eagles, I got them getting DeForest from Oregon, defensive end. because their defense has still been kind of shaky too. They got Byron Maxwell last year and Kiko Alonso, and
then they literally got rid of everybody
Yeah.
who came in.
so they really need to step up their defense going on
yeah.
to this next season. And then number 9 with the Buccaneers, I got them getting Veron from Florida, cornerback. I feel like the Buccaneers, I feel like their offense is pretty set with Mike Evans, and I feel like Jameis Winston will continue to grow, so I feel their offense will be okay.
Yeah.
And so I feel like their more important need is to fill in that defense and grow from there. Number 10, I got the New York Giants getting Ronnie Stanley from Notre Dame, offensive tackle.
Okay.
Especially the terrible seasons Manning's been having these last couple seasons, getting sacked almost every single play and throwing interceptions like it's free
No
candy.
other- yeah.
I really feel like
Free
they need to
candy.
protect him as best as they can.
Okay.
With the Chicago Bears, I got him getting Leonard Floyd from Georgia, another linebacker.
Okay.
And then number 12 with the Saints, I got them getting Sheldon Rankins, the defensive tackle from Louisville.
Okay.
I feel like the Saints can do some pretty good stuff on defense, especially now that they let go of Ryan's brother. I feel like they have some rebuilding to do with that whole defensive squad. Number 13, we got the Miami Dolphins. I got them getting Darren Lee from Ohio State.
Okay.
Good linebacker position to fill up because it's really 50-50 with them. I'd rather them kind of build up their offense more, especially letting go of Lamar Miller. I feel like even that one, they might be able to trade up and get Ezekiel Elliott. That'd be nice to see, but you never know with mock drafts. It's like a March Madness bracket. It can bust
It can bust at any time.
anytime, just like how the Rams
Jets are working on it now.
See, so you never know with them. I feel like Oakland's going to continue building up their defense, even though they got stacked up this offseason. I got them going with William Jackson from Houston,
Okay.
and I feel like that'll really implement that defensive squad and have them set going for this season. And then with the Titans, I got them going with an offensive tackle to help Mariota out, help him have a structured defensive, make him feel a little more secure in his quarterback position. And so I feel like that's going to be my first top 15. Now, I'm not saying it for certain. It's probably going to bust. You never know with these things. There's trade deadlines even within the draft too, so we have to see how it goes. But those are the positions I feel would fit in pretty well.
All right, so mine, I kind of have the same mindset as far as the teams, but just the different players. The Rams, again, it's crazy decision, but
Yeah.
I got Carson Wentz instead of Goff.
Okay.
For the Browns, I have offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil. I don't feel like they'll go for a QB. I feel like they'll probably try to build some protection around RG3, especially considering his history. You got to have some protection. And they let Alex Smack go to the Falcons, so it's just like he needs that protection. For the Chargers, I have Jalen Ramsey, cornerback. For your Cowboys, I got a QB. Listen, I'm not too much sold on Romo's health right now, so y'all need a backup.
Yeah, definitely.
A formidable one. Okay, I got the Jaguars. I got defensive end DeForest Buckner. Like you said, build up that defense. For the Ravens, I have offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley, especially since one of their offensive linemen went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
So, kind of fill some spots there. I got the 49ers going Joey Bosa. I was debating between him and Shaq Lawson.
Yeah.
But I like Joey Bosa.
Definitely.
The Eagles, I got Vernon Hargreaves, as we were saying, build up the defense. Buccaneers, I got Miles Jack going defensive again. Got the Giants going Shaq Lawson since they traded Chandler Jones. For Chicago, I got Ashawn Robinson from Alabama. For the Saints, I have defensive end Kevin Dodd from Clemson.
Okay.
The Dolphins, like you said, Elliott, I have him going to them to fill that void of Lamar Miller, get them a star, and he's going to bless any team that he goes to.
Definitely.
Let's just put that out there right now. Okay, the Raiders, I have inside linebacker Reggie Ragland from Alabama, and then Titans got the same mindset, offensive tackle Jack Conklin.
Okay.
Wow, y'all kind of
Yeah.
fed off each other a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like this draft's going to be a real defensive acquisition for any team. And the main
definitely.
reason I went with Oakland getting a cornerback, they just let go of Charles Woodson.
That's
and
true.
so they got a
He
big
retired,
spot to
that's
fill
right.
in right there, and I feel like Jackson can grow into that role and assert himself there in Oakland.
All right. Well, thank you, Kiera and Sergio, for talking about NFL top picks. We'll now take it to the student's view.
Hey everyone, Daryl, I'm here with Sergio. We're going to take it across the pond for you. So to start out with the Premier League, as everyone knows by now, Leicester City is the surprise top of the table. But we're going to talk about Arsenal, Man United, and what that top of the five is going to look like at the end. So what do you think, Serge?
I'm thinking, I'm just me probably just being a biased Man United fan, I'm thinking Arsenal's going to choke up that fourth spot, the form they've been in lately, and especially the way Marcus Rashford's been playing these last couple games. He's been scoring some phenomenal goals, and I see us pushing up to get that fourth spot. I still don't see anything happening to Leicester for them to lose that title.
No, Leicester's winning.
Leicester's going to win that out. And then we got, of course, Tottenham in second, and then you got Man City in third, who is also fighting for that Champions League spot right there too.
Okay.
So they got a little surprising push so far.
I would say Man City, I don't think they'll fall completely out of the top four, but with their focus on Madrid, I wouldn't be surprised if they drop some points. But speaking of Man City and speaking of Madrid, the Champions League Final Four have been decided. It's Bayern Munich versus Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid versus Man City. Who you got, Serge?
I got Bayern winning it all at this moment, and I feel like Real Madrid's going to at least clash out Man City to reach the final, and then Bayern's going to also take out Atletico Madrid to reach that final. And then I see Bayern winning 4-2 on aggregate.
4-2. 4-2 over Madrid?
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking kind of the same. I've got Real Madrid beating Man City 3-1 on aggregate. Bayern Munich beating Atletico Madrid, the toughest defense I've seen in years, 2-1 on aggregate. And then in the final, Ronaldo shows why he is Ronaldo, and they end up winning 2-1.
Fair enough to speak.
Fair enough?
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Well, I'm Shayla, this is Kiera, Sergio, and Daryl. You're watching In the Film Room. Thank you so much. Until next week.